All right. So we've been hearing about this easy mode for quite some time now. So watchers, content creators, influencers, all of us out here on these YouTube streets, we gotta talk. Y'all talking about quitting your day job? You're talking about quitting your 9 to 5 for real. Oh, we also talking about these 30-day challenges, and after 30 days, we're gonna do these recaps and see what happened. Not to mention, we also are just vlogging and eating cereal, and we doing whatever we gotta do in front of these cameras, right? All right. So in these YouTube streets, we seeing all these content creators just coming out of nowhere, boom, and everyone's talking about easy mode. YouTube is in easy mode. It's easy to make this money, get this bag. We gonna get monetized, and it's only gonna take a few days, specifically 30. Okay, so there's some truth to this, but there's also some misleading. So we're gonna explore both of them. Whether you're a new YouTuber or existing YouTuber, or you've been doing this for a minute, we gotta really address what this easy mode looks like and what it's about and why people are thinking it's so easy. But we also going to explore what it looks like and why it's not easy. So let's jump into it. You already know who I am. If you don't know who I am, my name is Twist Johnson on this mental channel, also the host of Let's Talk About It podcast. So today we're gonna do something a little different because I've been exploring and I've been doing about 2 months of research trying to figure out what this easy mode is about because I want to know, and there's other inquiring minds. I see a lot of YouTubers coming out of nowhere. They're coming from different walks of life, Instagram, Spotify, Snapchat, and of course, we got that band that's going on from TikTok, so of course everybody's coming over here. So what does this easy mode look like and what are we talking about? Let's explore that first. So the reason why people are feeling like YouTube is in easy mode is simple. The algorithm is changing. If you're familiar with YouTube, whether you're a watcher, you're a content creator, and you have your own channel, YouTube changes every year. That means what worked for 2023 is not going to work for 2024. What worked for 2024 is not going to work for 2025. And now we're in 2025 now. What I've been looking at, doing the research that I've been developing, I didn't watch top tier, mid tier, all the way down to the small YouTube channels, and everybody's talking about it, everybody's covering it. They're actually making some compelling arguments about why YouTube is in easy mode, and there's also some compelling arguments of why it's not. So the first one we're going to explore is why people think that it's in easy mode. So the reason why people think that it's in easy mode is because YouTube is getting back to its essence. If you remember YouTube back in the day, it was more of just people coming on for entertainment. A lot of people, they got on YouTube just to decompress, watch some videos. Back then there was a lot of pranks, a lot of vlogging. People would just put on their camera. There was no fancy equipment. They would either be in their car, they would be walking down the street, sitting in the park, or they're pulling pranks on each other or just doing skits. That's what YouTube was about. But as time went on, so did technology. Technology advanced. What happened was people started getting some fancy equipment, started getting cameras. Things were starting to blow out. So the things that worked in yesterday didn't work today. Why people are thinking about this easy mode? Because that's where it's coming back from. What YouTube is doing is making that science coming back, taking a lot of small YouTubes and they're putting it inside of a broader audience. What you notice in 2024, we've seen a lot of how-tos or how to grow your channels, and I could make you get monetized in 15 minutes if you just listen, how to get 1,000 views, how to get community, all of these advisories. And it's becoming to where it's becoming like a Hallmark channel or a product channel instead of a fun. So what YouTube is doing right now is putting those videos back in front of us, where you're seeing people sit inside of their cars, you're seeing people walk down the streets, people just talking about what they're doing on their daily life. Because what is YouTube about? We all get on YouTube to decompress, as I said. So you want to find videos that's relatable, story times that's like going to make you laugh or going to make an impact on you, make you feel like you heard, right? That's what's happening, and people are getting misled to think that it's an easy mode. So what happens when they start to put these small channels commentary and these contents in front of everybody and it's in the algorithm, the views go up. So as the views go up, the confidence does. So I want to address like what it looks like when you are getting in front of these new audiences. So now you have these small YouTube content creators that are starting from day one, and by day five, they got about like 100 views. They got about 20 to 50 subscribers, and in the next 2 to 3 weeks, if they were going that long, they got about 500 to 1,000. Now, I wanted to say that it wasn't something going on in the algorithm, but I would be lying if I said that that was not the truth, because even my channels, I came originally from Spotify and Instagram. Then I decided to pick up on YouTube. Now, I started my YouTube journey back in the ending of 2024. So I think I got about 4 months in at this point. I can't remember the exact month, but it was going from summer into winter, and then it was New Year's. What I want to say is, when I first started, my views were very low, and my comment section was 0 to none. My likes, of course, it still wasn't anything. On a good day, I'll probably, if I dropped a video today, the next day I probably got about 12 to 24 likes. On a good day, I got about like 12 to 24 views. So that was my sweet spot. As like I went into the second and third month, usually it's about like 40 to 50 and sometimes 80 views. But as of to date of this video dropping, about last week, I started to actually look and watch and see what these people are saying about what this easy mode is looking like. So the only thing is that they're pulling these small channels and they're putting us in front of like a broader audience. Like even my videos, I've actually tested the thesis by going on my homeboys or homegirls phones and judging off the things that they're watching. My videos are actually being suggested inside of the recommendations. So the algorithm is starting to put the smaller channels in front of the big. I'm noticing instead of it being about like 40 to 80 views, I'm getting videos that are getting the hundreds, the mid hundreds. Some of them even hit 1,000. And this is just podcast interviews, mind you. I didn't even get into the community. I didn't even get into the other things that like have been dropping. But if you look at my page, I only got interviews going on right now. But I'm about to start jumping into variety, and I will address that. I have addressed that in the last video. I do have a video that explains like what I learned about YouTube, and I did it all wrong. If you want to catch that video, you can catch that in the next video. I encourage you guys to check that out. I dropped a lot of jewels in that. You'll definitely get something. Okay, so back to this. So with the small channels now being put inside of the forefront with bigger channels, and I'm talking about the competitive algorithm that we have, a lot of people are suggesting that this might be the accurate way. Everyone's assuming that this is an easy mode. Why? Because they're dropping content and dropping they're dropping videos every day. I'm watching some of these. I'm actually fans of some of these channels, and I'm actually a part of their communities because I'm actually interested in how their journey is going to be, because they do have presidents and some of them do have personalities. They are catching algorithm and their views are going up. However, there's another side of that part that I'll address within a few seconds because I want to wrap that in. But as we talking about the easy mode, that's the only thing that I see that's going on that seems to be easy. They're putting us in front of a broader audience, and they're starting to shine a light on smaller content creator channels. That is the only thing that is an easy mode. Now, we're going to talk about why it's not an easy mode. Why it's not an easy mode is simple. Nothing in life is easy. Let's say that again. Nothing in life comes easy. And if YouTube was an easy mode, everyone would be doing YouTube. But not everyone could do YouTube. So I don't want you guys to get tricked out your spot. So pay attention and listen closely and understand why it's not inside of easy mode. I want you to stop watching those commentaries. Stop listening to what these people are throwing out to you, taking those tips, and you thinking that's going to work for you. Here's the reasons why. YouTube has always been, even back then when it was coming up from being a dating site into a social media outlet, it's a competitive social media outlet. Or YouTube, as to date, other than Google, is the second and sometimes the first leading social media outlet that people utilize to figure out things, learn things, and get information. Now, if they are the first or second leading social media app that's being utilized to educate, teach, and inform, how is it going to be easy to be a content creator? Okay. And second of all, when it comes to things being easy in life, just as a person in life, philosophically, let's think. You don't want something that comes that easy and that everyone can do, because if everyone could do what you're doing, where's the significance and where's the individuality in you doing it? What you're seeing right now is a lot of people popping up out of nowhere, and it's the old way of doing things. As I stated earlier, you see a lot of people sitting in their cars, a lot of people doing the vlog styles, just sitting in front of their TVs, or they have their kids in their hand. They're just vlogging from their desk. They're giving person-to-person interaction, which is beautiful because that's what YouTube wants. YouTube is now turned into influencer and community-based, where back then it was influencer and followed based. Here's the difference. Being an influencer in the 2020s versus the early 2000s and the 2010s is that they were going viral off of just putting out content, people enjoying what they're doing, but at the same time, there was no authenticity of that one-to-one action. It was a lot of pranks going on. There was a lot of skits going on. And the only way you can interact with the person that you're supporting or a fan is if they went live, right? Today, what's going on, even in other social media outlets, is that you have to have presence, you have to have personality, and the people that are supporting you want to interact with you. They want you to speak with them. That's why YouTube is now getting community based. If you look, they already launched like a community. So they are encouraging people to, yes, put out the content, but you also have to interact. This is why they're putting a lot of the more intimate content in front of us. People telling stories about their life, how they lost their jobs, telling like how they working their 9 to 5s or how they doing certain things to get the bag. Here's the problem where it's not easy again. YouTube has a science. Now, the YouTube science is you have to get monetized, you have to have a certain amount of watch hours, and you have to put out content after content. You have to stay consistent. But before we jump into that, let's jump back on why that's not easy. Because let's just say, because I hear a lot of the new commentators or the people that's coming in, they're being truthful and forthcoming that they are starting their YouTube channels, doing these 30-day challenges, challenging themselves, but also explaining in depth why they're here. Some of them are saying because TikTok is getting banned or their other social media outlets is losing its essence and they want to try out YouTube. Others, they got demonetized or they were in YouTube before, so what they decided to do is they decided that they wanted to come back, right? So what they're doing is being truthful about they're coming on YouTube to get the bag. They want to get monetized. They want supporters. They want a community. They want to share their journey with the rest of us that are viewing in. Here's the wrong way that they're going about it, why that easy mode is not going to work. You cannot come inside of YouTube with that mindset that you're going to just automatically come and get paid. Now, jumping back into that monetization part is because that takes time and that takes dedication. So we all come on because, yes, we do eventually want to get compensated for what we do. We do want to get paid. But in the beginning, you still have to have that fundamentals. What are you going to get paid for? See, back then versus now is that then all you had to do is just jump on with the camera. You had to have presence. You had to be funny. You had to have something that made someone gravitate to your channel. In today's age, you have to be informative. You have to have presence, and you have to have the skills to one edit. If you don't have an editor, you have to be able to be creative with the thumbnail. You have to have a title. You have to have a description, and you have to have a video that's going to gravitate and keep people hooked. Now, if you don't know that science, how are you going to get monetized? Let's just say without that science and you do these challenges or you do decide that you want to listen to that easy mode journey, and let's just say you get your 400 you get your 4,000 watch hours, you get your 1,000 subscribers, whichever way you want to go. Let's say you actually accomplish that. But here's what happens after that. Once you get monetized, how are you going to stay monetized? And the reason why I asked that to you is because if you're already coming into this as if you're going to get paid and this is going to be a job, that's the wrong mindset. Because you're not supposed to treat a social media outlet or a platform that you want to get into the monetization program as a job. You have to treat it like a business, especially YouTube, because there's over 1 million YouTube channels. There's over 1 million YouTube how-tos or what tos or my stories or this is how it's going. And guess what? There's people who exist. There's people who's been here, and just like everything in the just like everything in the world, there's always someone new that's coming. There's always you, and there's always going to be the next you, and there's going to be the first them. So my question to you with that is, how are you going to stand out? Once you get monetized, you know you're going to have to do things that's like weekly. You're going to have to constantly be dropping. Once you get monetized, there is requirements that you still have to meet when it comes to YouTube. Now, when you dropping content, you can't just drop content and you're just inside of the camera and you're just talking to us constantly every day. Eventually that's going to get repetitive, and that's going to get, oh, what else are you giving us? We done heard your stories. We know your day in your life. What else are you going to have? Eventually the community is going to get tired. It's like, okay, what else you got? And then there's another person that's probably doing exactly what you're doing, but they're doing it in a more elegant way. And they got the edits, they got the the graphics going on. So now you're all out. You just became someone that was in yesteryear. But let's talk about, like, once you do get monetization. Once you get monetized, this is a business. So you can't just expect that you're going to get up, you're going to make a video, you're going to talk on the camera for about 10 to 20 minutes or an hour, and you're just going to press stop and you're going to put it on and then let the views go. We're not celebrities. We're not A-list celebrities. We're not rappers and actors, or we're not up there yet. We're trying to get there, and they're in our own rights. You're gonna have to have a mindset that as a business, you're gonna also over time have to have a team. What happens in those ways is that people get tired. Why? As a content creator, especially on YouTube, people dedicate their time to put in their time and effort inside these videos. I'm talking about the editing time, the graphics that goes in it, the intros, hooks that's keeping you locked in, stories that flow, the things that like keep you gravitated, and they have to show personality. I watched some YouTubers, they was actually explaining like the process of how they put their content out. From top YouTubers all the way down to the small channels that are monetized. And from what they're explaining, this is not easy. I don't think that if you're thinking about you're just going to jump in here on easy mode, that you actually coming in with a mindset that's going to make you withstand the storm longevity. Because what you are failing to realize is that once money gets involved with anything, even with something that's also fun, you now have an obligation. YouTube is no exception. So once you become monetized, if you ever been monetized or you about to get there, pay attention, is that once you become monetized, you still have to meet requirements of certain hours, a watch time, and certain views. To some, I believe the views actually still work. You let me know if I'm misunderstanding that, I'm like and saying that incorrectly. But another thing that you gotta make sure is that while you getting your watch time, there is a certain mark that if you don't make, you don't get a payout. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not monetized at the moment. I've only been doing this for a few, but I know a lot of people that are, and they all point me in the right direction. And I do have the science so I could get there. Um, Anything $100, you don't get a payout from. I don't know if a lot of y'all know that. So if you don't meet that $100 mark, that means you won't get that payout. Now, if you are confident in that, you feel like you got all of that packed down, then by all means, you could get that done. But if you don't meet that $100 quota, then you won't get your money. That's one part of it. The other part about it is there's a lot of YouTubes that take this very seriously. And for people who are saying that this is an easy mode, it's a slap into their face. It's also a slap in mine, because I too have had that experience, like staying up late, rewatching the video, making sure that I don't have any issues. There's just me by myself being a one-man band. I made a lot of edit mistakes. My face is too close to the camera. I didn't have like bad settings, and like like my backgrounds is all messed up. My battery then ran out. I got a phone call. Anything in that nature that happened, and I had to take that L and not put the video out. But there are videos that I still got my face all in the camera, and I just let it go because I'm like, you know what, I'm already tired. I got other things I gotta do. I'm satisfied with that. So if you're satisfied with that, that's cool. So like, if you're not prepared to stay up for hours and hours making sure that your video is in good critique, that you got a good flow when it comes to stories or good flow when it comes to advice that you're giving out, and also be analytical and make sure that you're giving the facts, then I don't think that you're ready to be a YouTuber. If you're not ready to receive comments that's going to give you backlash, if you're not ready to drop a video, then look at it the next day and only see that you only get 5 to 6 views, and then you close it, and then you come back 2, 3 days later and to wake up, look and see that you got 500 views, 1,000 views, but you don't have any engagement, for YouTube to give you copyright strikes because you didn't edit correctly or you said things that may have been promoting other brands on the platform, to apply for the monetization program of YouTube and get denied because you didn't meet certain criteria, and try again, because there's a big chance that you're not going to make it on the first try. If you're not ready for any of that smoke, then you're not really ready to be a monetized creator. Those are all the reasons why things are not in easy mode. I want to add to these things is that, like, all of you guys that are giving out this falsified information about YouTube being in easy mode, I'm pretty sure that you probably watched a video that like sounded good and someone is just like a great presenter when it comes to conversation, and you just copied and pasted and reworded what they said, and then you made it your own. That's why the algorithm continuously brings out YouTube is in easy mode, YouTube is in easy mode, here's this and here's that. Let me explain this to you. There's no way that anything, especially YouTube, would be in easy mode for 3 months. You mean to tell me that YouTube was in easy mode for 3 months? I've been seeing this, I've been seeing these I've been seeing these videos and these channels cover this for literally 3 months. Now, here's the thing, and this is what I'm saying, like, it's a give or take, because some of these people I actually do follow, and I did see that their algorithm was changing, and they did get followers, and they did accumulate a community. But I also see a lot of these channels that just jumped on the bandwagon and started covering it, and they're not even receiving nothing. They also do receive that they're taking the I also see they take the content creators that actually did catch some rhythm from it, and they're copying what they said, actually taking what they're saying verbatim and trying to make it their own. YouTubers, watchers, content creators out there, I'm still in between that. I'm still new enough that I still need the education and I still need to see what's out there. And I know that, like, there are things that you can do that can actually build your community, build your channel, or build your niche, wherever you're going. But I'm also old enough inside of this YouTube thing now to know better, to know that there's no such thing as an easy mode of YouTube. There's no such thing as easy in life. And keyword, please, let's use our common sense to understand that there's no such thing as easy money. Let's say that again. There's no such thing as easy money. I want y'all to remember, just off of me just going off this rant, give you this information, there's no such thing as an easy mode of YouTube. If YouTube was that easy, everybody would be doing it, and everybody and their mother would be getting paid. YouTube is going through an algorithm change, and it's going through another science. That's why us small YouTubers are being put inside these huger audience. I want you guys to appreciate that and take advantage of that. And I encourage you to figure out what's going to be your next move. What's going to make you stand out when that algorithm changes again? What's going to make you different from the people who thought that it was an easy mode? How do you plan to get monetized and stay monetized and not get demonetized? How are you going to build your community? What's your channel going to look like from right now when you're putting the camera, just like we doing right here, in regular mode, just talking to each other? How is that going to look next year or the year after that? Are you planning? What is your next moves? Because eventually you just getting in front of this camera telling us how to do this or what you wish now or how to grow a channel. There's too many of that. There's so much of that. YouTube's trying to get rid of that. So how are you going to be the first you? And how are you going to get up there? If you plan to make money like that, how are you going to make that? Who's the next Mr. Beasts? Who's the next Nickies? Like, who's the next Riversides? Who's the next Think Medias? Like, just to name a few. Who are these people? Right now, we're just no names trying to get a name. I understand sometimes you got to be cutthroat. But I do not want you guys to trick yourselves out of your spot to think that easy mode is going to be the easiest way in the door. And for some of y'all, it might work. But for a lot of us, that easy mode mindset is not going to work for you. So after everything that I asked you and every statement that I made just now, I hope that you understand. I hope that you got something from it. Not taking this as a challenge, because it's good to challenge yourself, but don't challenge something that's making the challenge. I also encourage you guys not to quit your day jobs before you even know what YouTube can do for you and what you could do for YouTube. There's a lot of things that come into that, not just getting in front of the camera. With your 9 to 5, at least you know you got safety, you got benefits, you got things that could cover you, you got PTO. With YouTube, that's not guaranteed. You might not get no sponsors. Once you turn that camera off, if you decide you want to lay down, you're not getting paid to lay back down. And you don't even know how much money you're going to make. So the only thing I will tell you about that part is consistency is key. I hope you learned something. Tune into my other videos. See y'all when I see y'all. Peace.